Hello and welcome to a special Halloween video thing, Resisting Boredom. I am the hero of Canton, the man they call Brandon Kaiser.
And I'm the owner-operator of the Pork Chop Express, Josh Jessen.
I'm Random Chick in Steampunk Attire, Emily Vegas.
I am Token Changsing Warrior, Kit Cool.
I am the Baron Saramady.
I am Halloween Failure, Case Monahan.
Alright, so today we're gonna do some discussion on some Halloween themed things, right? So some movies, and then we'll do some other videos probably of TV and video games and things. You have those to look forward to, maybe we'll link them here eventually. But for now, movies. What?
Yiffing right there.
For now, movies. Alright?
Things that are scary. Yiffing.
I will
that make you
first...
cringe.
Kids understanding of sex.
I will first off say that I am not a very big horror person, right? There are horror movies I like, there are horror movies I don't like, but as for being a fan of horror, I wouldn't classify myself as that. So that's where I'm coming from in this episode. So just wanted to get that out there so that when I seem like a horror retard, then you can...
So we started this before, and I'm going to do it
I've seen some retarded horrors
Why
in my
don't you
life.
like horror movies? What is it about them that you don't like?
Okay, first of
Curious.
all, I don't like being scared, for the most part.
I don't either. But
Right? Yeah, I know when people say that, but there are so many other options that I'm like, why would I watch something that's scary when I could watch something that's funny or entertaining in a different way or action-packed or whatever.
Boogity boo.
Yeah, and if I'm not going to be enjoying it, to me it becomes the thing of, well, I don't want to watch it. It's the same thing, okay, video games are the same thing. I know that we're talking about movies, but it's easier to explain in this way, right? When I'm playing video games, I want to have fun. But if I am worried about something jumping out around the corner, I'm not going to want to go around that corner, right? So it's not fun to me. Therefore, when I'm watching a scary movie, it's not necessarily fun to me. When I watch a horror movie, it has to be something else, like a horror comedy or a horror sci-fi or, cheesy on purpose or whatever you want to call it. It has to be something like that usually. Usually. There can be some not those.
that gets to be Kit's new nickname, Cheesy on Purpose.
Cheesy on purpose. As Kit would say, over the top. So,
Over the top.
And there's the poster. See, I
Stallone. This is
I
Stallone
like
over the
horror
top.
movies for the exact opposite reason, I guess.
you like to be uncomfortable?
Well, no, I like
that.
I like the surprise of it. I like the suspense and the feeling of that thing around the corner. There's something terrible around that corner, and then the turning around the corner and there's nothing. Like, I like that element of horror movies, which is why I don't really like the slasher gore horror because it shows too much. I like the surprise element.
I think I get too much anxiety built up in moments
Yeah.
like that. You know what I mean? Like, and I think it's not. Yeah, I know it's not. It's a very pussy thing to say. I'm not. I'm not saying that.
Everybody enjoys it differently.
I'm a huge pussy. Like, I don't even like haunted houses, but I love
Yeah.
supernatural
See,
horror.
I like horror, and the problem growing up with her was the fact that she was a big pussy, and I didn't get to watch any of the horror movies that I wanted to watch.
It's true. Dad wouldn't let her watch. Jurassic
Do I
Park
need to find a picture of
because
the
I was
Sopranos?
afraid of
Yes.
dinosaurs.
You get to superimpose big pussy right up top.
Alright. So.
Well, the thing is, I don't like jump scares, that stuff.
I appreciate them in movies where they almost are unexpected, which is weird. The best example I can think of is
I guess it is for that.
yeah, like what is it?
I don't know.
Half-Blood Prince, right? Half-Blood Prince is the one with the jump scare.
Oh, and we're taking it.
Half-Blood Prince.
Serious?
No one
Half-Blood
knows.
Prince when he's like reaching in the water trying to get that shit, then all of a sudden, bam, that thing jumps out at him. Again, not something but I
Not quite what
totally
I
was like,
judged it
that's
on, but-
awesome because
Yeah,
it's a kids movie. They're fucking with kids, and that's the awesome part to me.
Jump scares are a little cheap, though.
Yeah, it's true.
There's
It's true.
cheap-
It depends
cheap
how it's done.
stereotyping.
If the entire movie is jump scares,
Yeah,
then that's stupid.
yeah.
But if it's well placed and makes sense in the setting of the movie, then it's good, and that's what it's there for. But your whole movie shouldn't be jump scared. Well, jump scared.
I guess
well, jump scared.
What it comes down to is I need a good enough story in writing, and the fact is most horror movies don't have that, right? So
Well,
that's
I
because
suppose
it's,
I didn't
well,
say it
hold
wasn't
on.
possible.
It's probably a statistical average because a lot of horror movies are cheap to produce. They're guaranteed to sell. There's a shit ton of
Yeah.
not even B quality movies of just horror movies.
But
that
you
they
could
just
say
put
the
out there
same
in
thing
market.
about action movies. I mean, there's a
Explosions
lot.
cost,
There's a
though.
lot of
Explosions
mediocre
cost.
action movies.
There
out
are, but
that
there's-
don't
I
have
also,
any
I also
gore,
didn't grow
don't
up.
have
I didn't
good
grow up
acting.
watching horror movies too. I mean, I could be part of it. Like Kit grew up watching horror movies,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So he loves horror movies.
Summer
I
vacation, me and my brother would be up till like 4 o'clock in the morning watching horror movies while playing the
And
mountain.
that's where I watched a lot of
Those are good days.
slasher movies and stuff, but I'm not a big fan of slasher. I like the
I don't like
cerebral
slasher.
horror type. I think what Sarah was
If
saying.
you're watching this because you like gore, none
Yeah.
of us do.
Yeah, none of
so-
us. None of us are big.
I really like
Well-
the cerebral films, the ones where it doesn't show you all the.
Yeah.
Yes.
sure, those.
Yes.
And I can't think of a good one that I've seen lately. I know that they've been trying to put some out the market, and Insidious kind of looks like, or the.
I don't think
Woman in
Insidious
Black.
is good.
I heard Insidious
Insidious
was
2
good. I
was.
heard I have on a good person that a good recommendation from a person that I trust that Insidious was good, but I still haven't actually gotten around to watching it because my friend group tends to prefer action movies to horror movies.
Or
So we
the.
sit down
I
and
always
watch them.
Insidious. I always remember future director of Why the Last Man, Dan Trachtenberg, saying that it messed with him when he was like alone sitting on his couch. Then,
Mhm.
like he didn't like being alone in a room. Like it freaked him out
That's
because of that kind of stuff. That's kind of stuff that I don't like though. Like I
See,
don't
I
want to.
do like
I don't
that.
want to have it be
Yeah.
affecting
I
me.
don't know why.
But like,
I
just
like
for a
the
day.
show.
Like you hear a funny sound and you just go like, what the fuck
look
was that?
Like
Yeah.
Enemy Horror.
Amityville Horror. There we go.
Not the remake.
There we
God,
Not
the
the
remake.
not the Ryan Reynolds.
Not the Ryan.
Unless you
Reynolds.
like Ryan Reynolds.
Unless you like Ryan Reynolds with his shirt off.
Ladies.
I always heard that Ryan Reynolds was actually good in that movie. I haven't seen it.
I mean,
so-
the original, like, movies where you don't see what's going
Topless.
on, where you're unsure, even like The Exorcist to a point, where it's just kind of spooky shit going on, and there isn't like
just horror elements.
horror elements, but not a guy with
I'll
ass
agree
chasing
with that.
people
But you
around.
would say but those are horror movies. Those are
The
classic
Gift.
horror.
I'd say The
movies.
Gift is a good.
The Gift with a creepy ass fiddler. Now that's the
Fiddler.
that's the thing though. The fiddler creeps me out,
What
but
was
everything
that?
else with that movie. The Gift
Sam
was
Raimi.
Sam Raimi. It was Kate Blanchett, Keanu Reeves, Katie Holmes,
And her tits.
and her tits.
That's
That's probably what that movie's most famous for, which is pretty bad. 'Cause it's a pretty good movie.
Because
Like,
there are classic horror movies that I wouldn't like. When I think horror now, I don't necessarily think of them as horror. Like Carrie, like I watched Carrie. I knew the plot of Carrie way before I actually watched Carrie ever. And after sitting down and actually watching it, I went, wow, that was really great cinematography from that angle. But it wasn't like a horror movie. It was like a child abuse story.
It was a
Until
up until
the
the
end,
last
yeah.
like
Well,
15 minutes.
it depends on the period too. Like at the time, maybe it was seen as more of a
But
horror
it
movie.
is a horror movie. It's a classic
Yeah,
horror
yeah.
movie. But like saying Amityville Horror isn't a horror movie is
Oh, no.
kind of crazy.
No, it is a
Yeah,
horror
it
movie. I
is.
just meant it's more of a mental, like there's
A
Yeah.
cerebral,
a cerebral
horror,
horror
thing,
movie as
yeah.
opposed to jump scare.
Or gore. Or,
Yeah, or
or
splatter some
a lot of
porn.
horror movies we see, and a lot of what the B horror movies are that dominate my horror movie playlist,
Yeah.
especially Netflix. That's all you really get nowadays is like monster, hack and slash, maybe. And the ones that try to do something that makes you think in that are always done so poorly nowadays.
Well, there are also a lot of them that we try to put out in the U.S. are remakes of Japanese horror movies.
Yes, and those
Well, that's pretty much done now, though. That was the thing back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
but
like
it's
10 years
actually, if
ago.
you look at it, a lot of the ones that they were making
Some of them
a
were
couple
okay.
years ago were remakes of Japanese horror movies. We just were less known than The Ring.
The Grunge and The Ring, I actually kind of like The Ring.
Grudge.
Grudge.
The
The
Grudge.
Grudge, yeah.
Grudge.
Grudge.
The Grudge.
The
Grudge
Grudge was
is
different.
something.
A lot more flannel. The Grudge.
The
was-
ghost of Kurt Cobain haunts everyone. That'd be awesome. Actually, let's make that movie. Let's make that movie.
As long as he hunts down Beaver.
No,
Yes.
first stop is Courtney, and we all know it.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Where are we going with this?
anyway,
Yeah, off topic. Let's
But
get back
no, I The Grudge.
Grudge.
The Grudge.
I like The Grudge, and I like The Ring. They were kind of more. They weren't.
They were
good.
creepy. They were
Yeah.
creepy.
They weren't,
No, they were-
well, they were good,
Never
but they
saw
weren't. They
them. I
weren't
don't
like
have
the
an opinion.
the kind of movie that I was expecting. Well, at that point, it was a lot of murder, blood, splay.
Yeah, but they're
monster.
ghost movies,
And those
but
are
they're
ghost
very
movies.
Eastern ghost movies.
Yeah.
Which bringing them remaking them in the U.S. was weird because I've actually gone back and watched the Japanese ones and they were very scary. Like Frequency.
Frequency with Jim Caviezel?
was terrible.
What was Jim?
Whoa!
Frequency with Jim Caviezel is awesome, and it's not a horror movie at all, man.
That wasn't a horror movie.
Dennis Quaid, Jim Caviezel,
There's one, no, maybe
Elizabeth
it's High
Mitchell. It's
Frequency.
amazing.
No,
That's
it's not
right.
White Noise.
Michael Keaton.
But there's-
White Noise or
There's
something
one,
like that.
there's
White
a
Noise.
horror
Because
movie.
Frequency's awesome.
Yeah.
No,
Jim Caviezel.
no, there's a horror movie that they remade that is a remake of a Japanese horror movie, and it's basically about ghosts in electronics.
Ghost
It's not
in
White
the
Noise, right?
Machine.
No, it's not White Noise.
Wait, what decade are you talking about now?
11.
Aughts.
Okay,
Aughts.
never mind.
But I
There's another horror
watched
movie
the
that's
Japanese horror movie that it came from, and it's weird because they don't give you everything. You basically have the information that the protagonist has, and it's a worldwide phenomena that just kind of destroys everything, and you never actually figure out what happened. So from that point of view, it does actually really bring in the like survival horror kind of element to it. But it also, it really makes you feel like you're in it, as opposed to the American remake where it kind of like over-explained everything.
Yeah, that sometimes happens. You know, they're more open with their stuff when it's a foreign film, and then they bring it over here and they have to make sure that everyone gets everything perfectly and
I
like
find it
explain
weird
everything.
that-
Because if it's too ambiguous, it won't sell.
Yeah, exactly.
I find it weird that the Japanese have taken their horror movies to basically where our independent films have gone.
What does that mean?
What does
Yeah.
that mean?
Like they tend to be more open-ended.
Over the rice hat. Over the rice hat.
They tend to be more open-ended, and they tend to be more about the single character than the overall, like, what's going on.
What's going on?
What's good?
The overall.
I just think
That's a lot.
That's it. I didn't think that was gonna go there.
that's
Sorry, I apologize. It was really
Yeah,
bad.
that was
What's going
bad.
on?
Yeah, don't worry about it. That got
yeah.
whatever.
All right.
It kind of went off.
So, well, okay. So you mentioned The Gift, and we
I did.
mentioned that with Sam Raimi, and those are the horror movies I like, though. If you're looking at more,
We
like
just watched Drag Me to Hell.
Drag Me to Hell is good.
I fucking
still
love
don't like
Drag Me to
Attack
Hell.
handkerchief.
He
Still
doesn't-
not a big fan
he
of
doesn't
it.
like it.
Drag
Yes,
Me
the
to Hell.
handkerchief
Why
is.
did you- I know
See,
you
but
said
again, I
that.
appreciate that. That a handkerchief scared the shit out of
The
me.
fight with
That I
the old lady.
Really, the
appreciate.
handkerchief
Epic.
scared you?
Well, it made me jump. Like
It
I
was
was like, it's just a
hilarious.
fucking handkerchief, and somehow it
That
got
made
me.
me laugh my ass
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
No, it's a funny movie, but it's just I don't think it's that good.
What? Drag Me to Hell?
Yeah,
I think it's good. It's not great. It's one of
It's
the.
funny.
It's
I just think the plot is really stupid.
yeah. Some of the things are weird. in that
There's a
movie,
lot
No,
of-
that's
but-
right. You didn't like it because the good guy gets screwed.
Well, no, it's like the one time she
No,
does
I
something.
love that.
Yeah.
The one
I
time
like
she
it
does
too.
something for herself,
See, the thing is,
she's like killed by a gypsy woman.
well, and I explained to you, the thing is, when I
That's
watch
why when
horror,
you do something for yourself, don't do it against a gypsy.
That's true. No, the actual moral of that story is if
Don't
you're
fuck
going
with
to grow a spine, don't do it the one time a crazy gypsy lady comes into your office.
no, that's what I.
Because
That's
she
one of
will
the things I
bite
like
you
about
without
horror.
teeth.
Is
She'll
that
just do
sometimes
crazy
you just get
gypsy
screwed.
nonsense.
Holy shit.
Like
Yeah.
the good guy doesn't always win. It doesn't always end up well for everybody. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, cabin in the woods. Because I mean, we gotta
okay.
bring that up, don't we?
Yeah.
It
Well,
is
yeah.
a
It's probably the-
late.
It's probably the best horror movie of the last
The
like
fuck
however
ton of
many
horror.
years. Like,
Don't do quotes. Just because it played with the genre doesn't mean it's not a horror.
but that's exactly why I like it. Okay, the horror parts of that movie I don't like.
horror.
When
is-
they're in the cabin is the worst part of the movie to me. When they're at the
It's
cabin.
very
I would say it's
Everything
worse.
else,
Worst
no,
is
it
a
is
harsh-
the worst part to me.
Worst is a
It was
harsh
just
word.
a generic horror movie at
That
that
just sounds
point. It was
terrible.
when we went to Bradley Whitford and
Oh, but
Richard
it's
Jenkins.
never
It was when
a-
we went to
yeah.
that place.
It's
That was when I
never
loved that
a
movie.
generic horror movie though, because it's obviously playing with the tropes.
No, I know, and it's supposed to be, and I get that. That's the point. Is that it's supposed to be a generic horror movie with this other stuff going on, and but it still doesn't change the fact that that part of the movie I didn't find that enjoyable. The worst part of the movie to me was when we were in the cabin, in the namesake.
I actually,
In the
I actually
cabin.
enjoyed it. Like the whole like them, you could see actually see
In the
them
titular
manipulating
cabin.
them in the cabin and everything. I really enjoyed that.
Forcing the
It kind of made
situation.
sense. Like all the horror movies I've seen, like oh well that kind of like it's sort of a play off of all the horror movies that have ever been made. And it's like you always
I
kind of ask
get
like, why the fuck would you do that? And like here's why the fuck they would do that. Because it's a secret
Yeah,
gas.
yeah.
We actually set like a lighting for where they should fuck, and we'll.
But I
we
also
kill them.
say Cabin in the Woods ruined horror movies for me, not in the fact of that's what it makes me think, but in the fact of I know that every horror movie isn't going to do this. Like, it's gonna be the cabin part. It's not gonna be the other
You
stuff.
can't say that it ruined something you didn't like. That's
True.
But that's what I'm saying. Every time now that someone's trying to convince me to watch a horror movie, now I'm gonna be like, oh, but Cabin in the Woods, they.
But you can't say
They do
that.
what?
You can't say that the Cabin in the Woods.
Every
thing-
time I drink a glass of whiskey, someone's like, "Do you want another glass of whiskey?" I'm like, "Well, I had good whiskey last."
It's kind of like saying it's probably not
Why
gonna
would I
be
want
this
this
good.
other one? No, you drink another one.
There's
Because
some,
you have a problem,
because
damn it.
there are really good horror movies that use the cabin setup, like Evil Dead.
But Evil Dead for different reasons. And I will say, Evil Dead, the first one, is the worst.
It is.
Right?
the first
the first one? The first
Okay,
one 'cause it
not
was
the
so
remake,
slow.
not the remake, because
Also the
who
remake
cares
is
about the
worse,
remake?
but everyone.
Who cares about the remake? The original, it's okay. Sam Raimi Evil Dead movies. The first one is the worst one,
Because it
and
was so slow.
it's because it's so slow. It's not funny. I liked when they added the comedy when they put the second one in. When you
So do you
add,
not like Alien?
Well, the third
I like
one.
Alien a lot.
You like
I
Alien,
told
but
you, it was that asshole.
but you prefer
Sci-fi.
Aliens.
Sci-fi. I do prefer Aliens.
Gremlin.
I like Gremlins.
Oh, is that really a
Gremlins
horror?
or Gremlins.
Gremlins.
2? It is Gremlins 2,
It
right?
is.
It's
The new batch.
Gremlins with an
Not,
S.
is it? Are
Yeah,
you
it's
sure?
Gremlins.
Did
Yeah.
you watch the cartoon?
Gizmo, right?
Oh, I think I
Is that what we're talking about, or we're talking about different
Yes.
movies? Yeah, I like that.
Mogwai.
Yes.
Did you like the first one?
I did, and I didn't like the second one because in that case
What?
it was bad.
But you
comedy.
didn't like the second one.
I didn't like the second one.
Wait, which one
I
was
liked
in
the second one. Isn't that the one where
The
they
new
take over
batch.
the...
The new batch.
Yes.
Yes.
And the
that's what they
Planet
said.
Planet
Freaking
Towers.
awesome.
It's entertaining for its
They should have
cheesiness.
a total
It's entertaining for its
cameras, like,
cheesiness, but
"Remember
overall,
Carlos,
did I
work
enjoy it?
camera? Work
Not that
camera?
much.
I am a camera. And like that was that.
Yeah, they had Robert Ricardo and
Yeah, it's
that one guy who plays like the 80s douchebag in all the movies and eventually went on to play Satan in Brimstone.
it's not.
Yeah, Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor's dad.
Lionel.
I don't know how to
That
explain
guy's
it, right? Like, its cheesiness wasn't as entertaining to me as
I don't know, I really
the
like
cheesiness of Evil Dead. Like,
That's
maybe it's a lack of Bruce Campbell.
I
Let's be honest.
actually
All right,
laughed
maybe it's
my
a lack
ass
of Bruce
off
Campbell,
at
but
the first Evil Dead movie.
oh, there are funny,
It was
there are funny
like,
moments.
The whole
Getty
like
Lee,
when she's actually like
Getty
thrown off
Lee
the
getting
car,
raped by a
I found it to
tree.
be funny.
Getty Lee getting raped by a tree.
They
is
should have
pretty
kept
funny.
that in
Yeah.
the second one.
I thought they did keep the tree rape.
There's no tree rape.
No,
just like-
oh, in
in the remake,
Oh,
they
the
did,
remake.
but-
Because
Did
there's the
anyone
first one.
see, did
there's
anyone
the
see
first
the second
remake that's the same
the
movie.
modern remake
No,
that
I
they
don't.
did? I don't think anyone's seen it. I didn't.
No, I didn't.
No, I
we
literally
didn't
think
see
nobody
it.
watched it. Like nobody at all. I'm
No,
pretty
someone
sure.
did. It did okay, I think.
I'll probably see it at some
I had
point.
no desire to, because it...
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really.
I
feel
thought
it.
about it,
It'll
but I
come
was
to
like,
Netflix and I'll just go be bored one day and just go.
Yeah.
I figured it would just be a generic horror movie, so I didn't have
Yeah,
any.
that's what
much-
the trailer made it look out to be.
Actually-
just the
Well, that's
the
one of the
generic,
reasons
the
why a lot of
contemporary
people didn't go
horror.
see Cabin in the Woods.
I think about my brother.
No, that's
didn't see
why I
that,
went to
and
see
it
Cabin in
was
the Woods
not
because I
great.
knew it wasn't just a generic horror
But
movie.
but if you just went by the trailers, it looked like a very generic horror
Well,
movie,
that's what it-
which was funny because people who read the internet knew
yeah,
it was.
but it's also you have to remember though. Cabin in the Woods has Joss Whedon and Drew Goddard attached to it.
Yes.
So it's not going to be just a generic sci-fi
And
movie
fucking
as
Thor.
long as you know that,
It
right?
did have...
It did have Thor in it, but at the time, but when they filmed that was before Thor. When they
And
filmed
Topher.
it.
Well,
yeah, and
Topher.
Well,
Topher.
Topher, yeah.
But they filmed that
That's
before
Gordy
Thor.
fucking
I still
Yeah.
don't know that guy's name.
Oh, shit,
I
I
don't
know
know his
that.
name
Nobody
either.
cares. Anyway,
But
hold on.
Yeah.
I just want to go to like the Resident Evil. Why did I say
Fran?
Resident Evil.
France?
The Evil Dead
Fran-
trailer.
France?
Resident Evil. Now
I
we're
think-
No.
my bread and butter.
The remake of the Evil
I
Dead
saw
trailer
this.
just made it look like they were just doing what the contemporary modern sort of horror movies are nowadays. They were just applying that to an established story. That's all it looked like, and that's why I didn't want to see it, because it looked like every other horror movie they've been churning out nowadays. It
Yeah.
looks like they just took that style and went, all right,
Yeah,
we'll apply it to
the-
Evil
what
Dead.
it
And I
comes
went,
down
well,
to is the
I don't
internet-
like that style nowadays,
Yeah.
so fuck that. I ain't gonna see that shit. Fuck.
the internet didn't tell me that it was something more than just a generic horror movie, and therefore I just assumed it was a generic horror movie. Cabin in the Woods, the internet told me it wasn't, along with those people being involved.
Right.
So,
The moral is you should believe everything you read on the internet.
not believe.
The moral is
but-
to have faith in Joss Whedon.
That's true.
You know-
Our Lord and Savior, Joss Whedon.
Hey,
There will be no
Drew
Golden
Goddard.
Isles before Jim Caviezel.
It's Joss Whedon's awesome, obviously, but Drew Goddard doesn't get enough credit for that movie, really.
Not at all.
Drew Goddard directed it along with writing of Joss Whedon. And remember, he wrote Cloverfield, which I love, which many people say I'm crazy for,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
love
Because
Cloverfield.
you said you could watch that over and over. again, like,
I
are you
watched
fucking
it
serious?
several times when it came out, and I normally
Yeah.
don't do that.
That's
I
true.
normally don't do that, and I watched
Her?
it like 4 times in 2 weeks.
I used to watch
Seriously.
Godzilla movies all the time. I don't like
Well, there's multiple Godzilla
I
movies. There's only one
didn't.
Cloverfield, and really watched it multiple
Cloverfield, I
times.
watched.
I saw it once, and I was like, all right.
Yeah,
I
that
love
was-
that movie.
I did
Watch
too.
that.
I was like,
I've
I mean, I
said
didn't hate it. I
I've said
didn't
this
hate it, but I
before,
was just
though.
like, all right.
I said this before though. J.J. Abrams makes movies for me,
He
and I
does.
know he didn't make that movie, but it's a Bad Robot movie. He produced it, right? So he had some kind of
That's
involvement.
his credit.
He makes
You
movies
see
for
this.
me.
He put a thumb in
So
the
he
butt
did
of
it
the
again
production staff.
with a
or
movie that I
something.
shouldn't have liked. I loved. So I can't explain it. Me and JJ have a
Yeah,
Yeah,
connection.
actually, you
All
like
right, we have a
Super 8 too,
connection.
and I wasn't a huge fan of Super
I
8.
think he doesn't
Oh,
know
you like
this.
Super 8?
I do. I love
Anybody else
Super
like
8.
He
I
does
like
like Super
I thought it was pretty good.
Wait,
I think they could have
wait,
done
hang on.
more.
You know, it's
That-
funny because somehow we
Yeah,
are
I
actually
think
kind of talking
8
about
millimeters
horror like
the other one.
movies.
I think it was
that triangle.
What? What? 8 millimeters.
Yeah, no, I was gonna.
8 millimeters over
Nicolas
Nicolas Cage
I always
and
get
snuff
title
film.
Super
Walking
8.
Phoenix.
Nazi
Super 8
snuff
reminds
films.
me of the Iron Giant, but with a murderous alien entity. That's really all
Oh,
I
the Iron
get.
Giant was a
It's a murderous E.T.
Yeah, but-
got to screw loose.
It's a murderous E.T. mixed in with a little bit of Goonies
Yeah.
and some other things. That's kind of what it is.
Goonies
And a little
I
bit
think
of
it could have
Cloverfield.
been a
A
good
little bit of
establishment
Cloverfield
movie
too.
for a
so-
I found the kids incredibly annoying.
See, I really like
I
the
usually
kids.
find kids.
Yeah, usually I do too.
I like
but
the
in that
Goonies,
case, I
but
didn't.
these kids were not at all lovable.
No, I thought these kids did a
I
great
could
job.
see it though. Like I could see the kids using their powers like that. Like
You
doing that.
are,
Their powers?
Howard?
Powers?
What the fuck
You
are
are
you talking
thinking
about?
Chronicle.
I am thinking of
Chronicle.
Chronicle. Yes.
Super 8's the one with the giant spider.
Yeah, that one was terrible.
Chronicle was good though.
It's the love letter to Spielberg is what Super 8 was. Anyways, yeah.
Did he
So,
get it? Are they
What?
dating? Are they going steady?
I think they're going steady.
Did he check?
it's a
their-
phrase, man. It's a
Probably
phrase.
holding hands.
I
and-
speak
I
in
think Spielberg is
cliches.
the
Okay, I
real
speak in
Tom
cliches. Sorry. Alright?
I speak like a robot.
So yeah, Halloween movies.
Yes.
I love horror. I love horror movies mainly for two reasons. One, there's always a jackass who gets what he has coming to him, and that's just always hilarious to me. Or just people I just really didn't bond with.
Or the
enough
black guy.
story-wise.
That's the problem,
You know,
though.
really-
Whoa! No,
No,
I mean, the black guy always dies first, right?
You know-
Isn't that a horror movie trope?
You know, a really good
They don't do that
franchise
anymore,
for
'cause they
that
don't
though,
have it.
if you're really just looking
Pictures.
for a that was an
Yeah,
interesting
pictures.
death scene or that bitch really got what she deserved.
Final Destination.
Final Destination.
I actually really
I like
enjoyed
the
Final
first Final
Destination.
Destination.
So I'm waiting for is like someone just be drinking like a 2-liter soda and all of a sudden like they stop short and an airbag goes out and shoves the soda down their throat.
Was
I want to
that-
see all sorts of
Was that the
interesting
first one
deaths
with the
in-
bus scene? Because that was.
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't
That
the
was
first.
so
it was the bus
satisfying.
scene.
Final Destination,
But there, the
I love.
bus scene.
I think you just
is
wanna watch
the
Faces of
first
Death.
one.
Wait. The
Probably.
first Final Destination, though, right?
I just
All
love
of them.
watching people. get
All of
hit
them.
by
You
I
love
buses.
enjoy
all
watching
of them.
all of them because they're all
All of
ridiculously.
them
yeah,
are.
they're all
They're
ridiculous.
all-
They
As-
escalate
I
well.
like-
As it goes up, the deaths get more elaborate. Like the chick almost
And you-
drowning in the
you
fucking
watch
like,
it. You watch
car
it
wash.
for the
Oh, man.
fucking crazy.
Yeah, the Rube Goldberg
Rube
of death.
Goldberg death.
Yes. The Rube
Setup.
Goldberg of death. That's what you watch.
Basically,
Recently-
it's death getting bored.
Recently, I watched one of the worst movies I've ever seen, horror movie wise, is Jason X.
Oh,
Hey,
fuck.
you go straight to hell. That was a great
That
watch.
thing where
Terrible horror movie.
the
Fun to watch.
best part of the movie, which is I luckily caught, was at the ending where they had the holodeck with like, oh, he's back at Camp Crystal Lake, and he takes the two fucking like sleeping bags of
That
like
is hilarious.
like naked teenagers and beating them against each other and beating them against a tree.
Honestly,
That was-
just look that up
that was
on
amazing.
YouTube
I
and
have-
skip the rest of the
I have
movie.
That is-
never
that is
seen
great.
that.
Anyway, second reason I like horror movies is pretty much like of the supernatural or the like alien who's like in a place he shouldn't be, or we created something we never fucking should have created. Love that shit. That's
What's an example?
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Shit, like supernatural shit wise.
Why's it gotta be Godzilla with kids?
So
Are you trying to say
Because he
something?
said that he watched Godzilla. Ah.
For instance, I enjoyed watching Paranormal Activity 2 just because I had no care about the characters whatsoever. And just like on the phone, like, nope, there's no ghosts, nope. And like he has like film evidence and shit, doesn't believe it. And at the end of the movie, he gets his neck snapped. by
See,
his sister.
Spoilers.
Paranormal Activity was probably one of the most boring fucking movies
It
I've
was
ever seen.
terrible. They're
It's
terrible movies. Actually,
not
like between
interesting.
like
At any
whenever I
moment-
got bored, I looked up on Wikipedia.
Yeah.
And like, what the hell happens? Okay.
At any moment during that
What the
movie, I was
fuck?
never engaged. I was never interested. Paranormal Activity it's a movie that you'd think, because the way I had said the movies I liked before, it would be a movie that I'd be totally about. but they present it so terribly. And I'm not talking about just like the found footage, hand cam, and yes, you can laugh at the mustache, it was glorious. But just, there's nothing interesting at all going on ever at any point in the movie, and I really don't care for it.
I appreciated that they were trying to set up a horror atmosphere for the movie to kind of like give you a creepy vibe and everything like that, but it was just terrible.
I'll be brutally
And
honest.
So should we
Jump
go?
scare at the
Should
end.
we
remember
list
watching
some
it,
horror
Billy.
movies that we actually like?
Probably.
Should we?
I can
should
tell
we
you
get to
Yeah.
that
one
one?
I didn't like.
So here's what you should watch for Halloween. Take it away, Brian.
Yeah, why is this put on me? I said I don't like horror movies.
Well, no, okay, you don't like horror movies. What do you watch to get in the Halloween mood? What do you, anything, funny,
Besides Nightmare Before Christmas.
quirky?
No, that's a Christmas
Son of a
movie.
bitch.
That's more of a Christmas movie than a Halloween movie.
I knew
no.
someone was gonna mention it.
It was no, I didn't write it down because it's more of a
It's
Christmas
neither.
movie to me.
It's a November
No,
one.
I had a
Neither.
couple
It's
others.
true.
you'll watch it.
It's a between.
It's true, but it
I watch it
climaxes
during
at Christmas,
November.
therefore it's a Christmas movie to me.
That is
That's
so
my
stupid.
that's my
No.
favorite.
I watch it during November.
It's both.
It has a song called This Is
There's-
Halloween.
But that's in the beginning.
Yeah.
That's the
Oh,
intro. That's
it's
the
in the
introduction.
movie.
That's the
There's
introduction to the
So
movie.
should you watch it throughout the month?
Look,
like
yeah,
end of
Look, all right,
October
let's
and
break
just
it
sit
down.
and
You should
the movie?
watch
No,
Nightmare
I'm
Before
saying.
Christmas every month, at least
Okay.
once a month.
Okay, I'm
Just
not
to do it.
disagreeing.
I go to
At
Hot
some
Topic
point
and buy the
between
shirt.
Halloween and Christmas, you
All right,
can watch Nightmare Before Christmas.
I'm not disagreeing with people who say it's a Halloween movie. I just see it as more of a Christmas movie. That's all I'm saying. It's more of a Christmas movie than a Halloween movie to me. That's all I'm saying.
I think
Yeah,
you
you
can
can take it as a
balance
Halloween
that
movie.
together.
If you think of it as a Halloween movie, go ahead and
Some
watch
are
it.
just
It could be
Go
both.
ahead and watch it.
He's
It can
giving
be
you
both.
permission.
But I'm saying it's more of a Christmas movie to me. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Something I think would be a good movie for like if you want to get in the
Say it like
Halloween
20
mood.
fucking times.
Probably Tales from the Dark Side, the movie. I really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah.
Because I had the vignettes. I think that's how you pronounce that word. Like like little stories. Well,
Vignette.
then you tell vignette.
Is what you're
The little stories, like that they had with the mummy and the gargoyle and whatnot, and just it really kind of gets you in the Halloween mood.
I may have to watch that.
Yeah, they're like short ghost stories,
Yeah.
but very good.
It's like a kid who's about to be cooked by some fucking woman. Is like, oh wait, no, there's a scary story in this book. Don't cook me yet. Wait, I got this story. That's really good. And yeah, I actually really enjoyed the movie. That was actually from my childhood. Movie always fucks me up though was It.
Yeah.
And that's why I have a problem with clowns. That and
It.
Attack of the Killer Clowns from Outer Space still gives me the
That
creeps.
one we can go
I
straight
thought that was
to.
supposed to be like cheesy and
Cotton
perfect.
candy guns, stabbing people with like crazy
It is, but if you don't
slugs,
like
drinking
clowns,
their
You
blood.
know,
weird.
you know the one that goes over the top for me that I just can't watch
Over the
because it
top?
creeps me out?
What's that?
13 Ghosts, actually. I know it's
I actually-
Oh, I
I
saw
saw
the one
it.
with
Can't do it.
fucking Monk.
I saw
Yeah.
it at the theater. That was funny.
Tony
Can't do
Shalhoub.
it.
Yeah.
It has
Creeps me out.
fucking
And
Matthew
Matthew
Lillard.
Lillard,
fucking
yeah.
serial
Yeah,
killer.
Matthew
Yeah,
Lillard.
Matthew
Um,
Lillard.
Yeah,
Matthew Lillard.
how could you be like creeped
don't
out?
know.
That's fucking like Shaggy
Don't
I-
kind of
it
movie.
creeps
Yeah,
me out,
that-
man.
Matthew Lillard.
That movie's alright.
Serial
That movie's
killer,
alright.
not Shaggy.
And Shannon
It's a good
Elizabeth,
movie, but it
and
creeps
there was
me
a
out,
ghost
man.
with a nice
It's not
rack,
good.
and it was
Creeps me out.
like,
Yep.
oh man.
Especially that part in the bathroom. I don't like mirrors.
Oh, you need to leave
I
it.
did enjoy that movie.
Leave
I did
that.
enjoy that movie. That movie was fun.
I don't,
Yeah.
It was over the top, just to
That's-
run around.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't like mirrors because of horror movies. I can't.
Yeah,
They
she's
creep me out.
She doesn't
Hey,
like
the
mirrors.
Ghostbusters.
I wouldn't want to look in a mirror in the dark, but I don't like in light look at mirrors
Well,
and
it's
go,
like
this
it's
is
like
scary.
it's like when you're about to like move it, and you're like, there is totally gonna be something behind me right now.
House
Not
was
in real
always-
life. Not in real life.
The House series. The House series was always
Oh,
good.
Hugh Laurie,
Awesome.
yeah, Hugh Laurie's great.
Hell yeah.
Hugh Laurie's really cool. No, the four
No,
movies. House.
Yeah, House.
Those are actually some
Those are
really
good.
good creepy movies.
Didn't the second one have like the
Well, you brought
ghost zombie like gunfighter in it?
No,
Wait,
the World
and
War
House 2, the second
Vietnam.
Yeah, and then
the
he goes,
Vietnam
oh
veteran.
shit!
I
oh,
enjoyed
House
House.
That's
Well,
funny.
you
That
just-
was awesome.
You mentioned like the mirror in it. I remember. I'm pretty sure you. Well, maybe
He
it
does,
is-
he goes
Don't they
into a
bust a
Vietnam
hand with a
flashback
grenade
through
through it or something?
Yeah.
Also, my aunt's, when I was a kid, because this is when I saw him, because I was young, my aunt's toilet, she had the exact same toilet, and I was always worried that some shit was going to come out of it.
Yeah,
Oh, you
if
know,
you
that-
haven't
that
watched
changes so
the
But also that
series,
reminds me of
watch it.
Spoilers.
The creepy thing about Ghostbusters, the hands coming out of the sofa.
Yep.
Like that always fucking
When I was a kid, that bugged me too.
That was like I love Ghostbusters
You know
forever
what?
and for eternity. And I watched it all the time when I was a kid, but that part I always had
Yep.
to like,
No, me
I had to
too.
go hide or something.
Me too. I have a bunch of.
The fucking, cause like,
Shockingly, it
I'd
did
sleep
not
on the
scare me.
when I was on the couch,
Yeah.
like at my grandma's, I'd always like not sit at the
Yep,
middle part,
yep.
because I was like the hands come out of the middle and like fucking grab it. It was,
I had a bunch of those when I was a kid. Weird movies that shouldn't have
God
scared
damn it,
me
I
but
gotta look
did.
it up.
And that was one of them. That scene and the beginning of E.T. for some reason freaked me out. I don't know how to explain it, but the beginning of E.T. freaked
We
me
all
out when I
have,
was
we
a
all
kid.
have those.
But if I have to recommend a Halloween movie, which I'm going to right now, it'd probably be The Shining, or we were
The
talking
Shining.
about
Watch The Shining's good.
Yeah.
It's on this list.
It's kind of funny that when I was trying to think of like classic horror movies, well not even classic, just horror movies that I would recommend, and they were all kind of older. And it was like It and Shining were the first two things that popped in
Yeah.
my mind, both Stephen King movies,
Ghoulies.
which for the same thing as Stephen King's gotten older, I wouldn't watch any of his shit that he does now because it's all fucking
I watch
terrible.
Under the
No,
Dome.
it's all there's
What's
an,
under the
all,
dome?
an author who has inevitably murdered the person that he loves is somewhere else to write and has to deal with the fact that he has murdered someone he loves in this haunted thing that may or may not be
It's-
haunted because he cut it off crazy.
It's a miniseries, not a movie, but don't watch Bag of Bones.
But
Don't do
no,
it.
like Shining and It are amazing, but for every Shining in It, there's a Tommy Knockers and a fucking
Hey, I
Oh,
love Tommy
Tommy
Knockers.
Tommy Knockers is terrible. There's
Yeah.
just he's done a lot of terrible
I
things,
thought-
but in his
Oh,
prime.
wait, no, I was thinking
I would-
Langoliers. Langoliers.
Oh
is
God,
terrible.
don't do that.
Well, honestly,
Langoliers is great too.
Honestly,
For all his highs, he's got equal lows.
I saw
Cars?
look, I saw The
Oh my
Shining
God,
a lot
Cars.
when I was younger, and honestly, like it didn't really hold up so much for
Really?
me. It's mainly my God damn, what's his name?
Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson losing his shit is my favorite part of the movie, pretty much. That's
I
really
mean the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
The
Well,
whole
to
thing,
be
the whole thing is
fair,
him slowly losing
like
his
the
shit.
whole twins and like the room, like I can't remember what the
It's a
fucking
creepy
Red Rock.
fucking movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't really get
The
me.
woman in the shower.
I actually saw a
It's
made-for-TV
got
version
nasty
of The
70s
Shining
bush.
that was more by the
Nasty
book,
70s bush, right?
and that was so much better.
And then the menstrual.
What?
Like,
What is better?
surprising? I was surprised.
Wait, what is
There was
better
a
than
made-TV version of Shining, which actually followed the book a lot more.
I don't
Now,
know.
I
Like
know
it
it's-
doesn't die.
I don't know about this,
They had
but
a-
I do not
instead of
buy
having an
it.
axe, he had a big croquet mallet, and I was like,
What
holy
else?
shit, the book is
My
actually...
favorite part about The Shining, the difference between the book and that, is the black guy, Nut doesn't get killed. I like how when they made a movie, they're like, kill the black guy first! Like, that was the first thing that happened.
The elevator full of blood, the iconic elevator full of blood, it's supposed to be elevator full of balloons.
I like blood better.
So I found
So
out.
you're
like
saying,
better.
so you're saying
I trust
that,
in Stanley
that
Kubrick.
Kubrick is more to blame for the greatness of The Shining than Stephen King. Is that
Probably
what you're
Terry
saying?
Kubrick is
Probably.
Yeah,
batshit
it's-
insane.
Yeah.
Kubrick does a lot of crazy shit.
Is there is no way
He's
he
dead.
is not okay.
Well, yeah, he is dead.
Wherever his soul is, I am sure his soul batshit insane. Whatever
likely.
deity he's answering to is going, what the fuck do I even do?
It makes me
What?
wonder who directed it, because there's a lot of
It?
because the book has got a lot
I don't
of
know who directed it.
things that are weird that, like, I don't know why Stephen King thought it was necessary to write a sex scene involving a bunch of like 10-year-olds.
It's
But,
crazy.
he did.
I got
That's-
time.
I got so scared
It
of
was the
it.
80s.
Yet the guy who played the fucking clown has been in, like everything, like
Curry.
a lot of Tim Curry,
Curry.
a lot of things I enjoyed.
We already had a Tim Curry.
Sexual transvestite.
Not scared of him at all, but like
Is that a
man,
horror movie?
Yeah.
You know what? I watched Rocky Horror during Halloween.
It is horror in the title.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like
Never-
watching Rocky.
never
I think
seen-
basically
Honestly,
like
there's no
whatever.
reason to watch Rocky
True.
Horror at home ever.
Never
The
saw
only
it.
reason you ever watch
Yeah.
Rocky Horror is you go to the midnight showing and you're there with everybody. That's
Not
the only
necessarily.
reason.
You can do it if you have a group of friends over that also knows the movie, and if a couple of if you know the lines you're supposed to yell out, it's still a good time.
Never really
If
saw
you
the whole
drink.
thing, just
You
saw
can
the
drink.
parts, and it just didn't grab me.
What didn't grab you?
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
It-
Well, you don't
Yeah.
watch it for like its
Plot.
prowess as a
You were
film.
talking about-
like
I was.
You're talking about 80s classic horror movies,
I was.
and you're dressed as Kurt Russell, and you didn't mention The Thing, though. That's the weird part of it. Because
Saw,
The Thing is a
saw
great
quite a bit
movie.
of that.
Alright.
That was pretty bitchy.
I'm not dressed as Kurt Russell.
Well, okay, but technically.
I'm dressed as Josh, who happens to have clothes similar to what Kurt Russell wore.
But yeah, The Thing is
In
a
a
great
movie,
If
Big
we're
Trouble in
just
China,
doing-
But
which
that goes into
I've
the
heard,
sci-fi.
hey, I've heard
Really?
Big Trouble in Little China
Should've
referred
done
to
it
as a
by
horror
decade.
movie for whatever fucking reason.
Really?
I think it's the eyeball guy.
A movie that fucked me up as a kid, I think it was Ghoulies 3. There was a scene just at the very end
I didn't
where a
know
guy
it was
like
terrible.
was panicking, like, I'm not really seeing this shit, and it was at a carnivore or whatnot. He goes in the porta potty, he's like taking off my pants, and as he's ready to sit down, you see like one of the ghoulies is in the toilet, and he apparently eats him from the ass way up. And I had trouble pooping for a while after that.
Alright.
That
that.
movie fucked me up.
So, getting away from what Kit's saying,
We talked about
whatever's
that
Kit's
For
saying.
always.
Yeah.
For always.
If
Never.
we're
Rouse
just talking about
Rocky.
movies, if we're just talking about movies that we watch to get into the Halloween spirit, I watch Poltergeist and
Poltergeist is good.
American Werewolf in London.
She beat me to it.
American Werewolf in London.
I love American
I
Werewolf.
only saw Paris.
I saw the end of it.
Well,
No!
No.
Now you know why I never watched the original. Now you know why I never watched the original.
Paris is terrible and a joke. I saw just the last like
But it
10
had-
minutes.
but
of
American-
London,
but
and that was amazing.
American Werewolf in London has the best werewolf transformation
I've
seen
ever.
that.
Because it wasn't
Ever.
No, that's a thriller.
Nope. American Werewolf in London.
Hey, American Werewolf in Paris had the drummer from That Thing You Do. Okay, so
I didn't-
I'll be
bam,
brutally honest,
bam.
I've seen
That's
it.
a horror
I
movie.
don't.
Just keep
No,
all
American
the
Werewolf
objects
in
away from
London.
her.
Watch it, love it, know it.
And watch
I'm
out for
talking
glass.
to you.
I'd go with probably The Frighteners. We mentioned it a little bit before we did this.
That is
And
the one with
The Frighteners
Michael
is
J.
so
Fox,
good to me.
right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's a good movie. I like it.
Again, though, Back to the Future is one of my favorite movies of all time, if not my favorite movie of all time. So that might. I love Michael J. Fox back in the day.
I think you thought I was.
So, which is why I'm disappointed in the show. But
Right now
still,
I'm thinking of the theme to Family Time.
The Frighteners is a great movie. It's Peter Jackson before he did Lord of the Rings. You know, so when he used to make horror movies, that he doesn't really do anymore. But it's supernatural. There's ghost stuff going on. There's
You know, we didn't talk
G.
about
McBride
Jake
is in it.
Busey. Jake Busey is in it.
Jimmy McBride.
Casey's favorite actor. of all
Yeah,
time.
Try McBride's in it.
Is it Chai or is it
Pan's
I think
Labyrinth.
it's Try.
We did not.
Because I was thinking Guillermo del Toro,
Guillermo del
Guillermo
Toro.
del Toro.
Spanish name.
Okay.
He does a lot of
Ah.
great costuming, great stuff, and he did Pan's Labyrinth.
Yes, he
and,
did.
And I know
So
Hellboy's.
Hellboy, yeah.
He was actually a consultant of
Pacific Rim.
the Hobbit.
Okay, great.
He was going to direct The Hobbit, and
But
then
he
he
was a
backed
consultant.
up.
Just thinking about like, and
Well,
Hellboy isn't exactly what I
Alright,
call
he looked at the
movie, but,
script a
like,
couple times, so technically he's a consultant.
He does really
alright?
good work.
He
I
still
wanna see
hasn't seen
Hellboy
it.
I think it's a
Punch
visual
Frodo.
consultant.
I want to see Hellboy punch Frodo.
See, here's the thing, and I know we kind of discussed
Tell
what
me you
is
don't wanna
and
see
what
it.
isn't a horror movie, but I think a lot of them they sort of skirt like the I don't know urban fantasy line because you have the same shit in both genres. You have ghosts and werewolves and vampires and whatever, and I think it comes
Leotards.
and I think it's a very small permeable barrier. I think they can be both or one or the other at any given time.
You could watch
So,
it around
like,
Halloween time.
yeah, exactly. So like Hellboy, Dylan Dog. I loved Dylan Dog.
I didn't see Dylan.
Oh, so good.
Even better than expected. It,
That has fucking
it's just
Superman
so
Returns in it.
Yeah, it has Brandon Routh in it.
Yeah, it was so good.
That's
So
a-
good.
Here
he
in
actually
Boredom, we know
looked
who
buffer
he is.
in Dylan Dog than he did in Superman Returns.
Yeah,
That
that's
looks
true.
buffer and
And
fucking
it had
sharp.
the
Or
guy.
Chuck, yeah.
It had the guy who plays the werewolf in the American version of Being Human, which I have not watched because I can't bring myself to watch it. I've watched.
Oh,
Yeah, I know
Sam
what you're talking
Huntington.
about.
Yeah, he's cool. I
He's
don't
in
know
all
if
like
that's his name. I'm
those
assuming.
cracked.
His name Sam
Yeah.
Huntington, right?
I think
Sure,
it's
yes.
name?
For the
Yeah,
sake
why
of
not?
time, yes.
There'll be a word somewhere saying whether I'm right or not.
We don't know.
Not this time.
But he's cool.
Like,
Yeah.
Circle gets the square.
Yes.
Brandon got
We
it.
don't know.
Yeah.
I was
Cool.
hoping you
So
saw
that's-
that.
That's a little known one. Watch Dylan Dog. It's good.
Yeah, that is a good one.
We talked about Low earlier. That's another one that kind of it's
Low.
not scary, but it's got demons in it. I hope.
Fuck it.
Low
I hope
is
it's still on
so
Netflix.
fucking
Here's a pair of movies you should watch.
Oh,
Ninjas
fuck.
versus Zombies.
Fuck yes.
No.
Yes.
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 Watch it.
No.
Watch
For,
it.
for,
No.
for-
Independent, independent company, good
Don't.
storytelling.
No.
Don't listen
What?
to them.
Don't.
Yes.
No, it's
Ninjas
not.
versus
Why don't you?
Zombies.
How
Yes.
did you not
You
like
didn't watch
those?
Wait.
those. You'll-
Oh, wait,
I only
Ninjas
watched the
versus
one.
Vampires.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking
How
Ninjas
did you
versus
not- How
Vampires.
did you not like
They're
that?
both, they're the same guys.
Yeah,
And
then
they're
I still
both
say no.
Amazing.
That's not.
What was the one you
No!
made me watch? That was
Ninjas
bad.
versus
Vampires.
Vampires.
That was bad.
Ninjas versus
That was bad.
Vampires was just all
It's
sorts
not
of.
a $200 billion budget movie.
Well,
or
no,
whatever.
I don't care about the budget. It's not good writing. It's not good
What
story.
was not good about it?
It was cheesy as fuck. Okay.
You
And-
like cheesy.
No, it
You've
depends.
been saying you
wait,
like cheesy.
There
the
is
entire
good cheese
day.
and there is bad cheese. This was bad cheese. There is
ignoring
two
good
different.
writing, good effects, or anything like that. It was
Okay, I
just
know.
like.
I'll give you this. It wasn't as bad as what was that movie else that
House of
New
Gajillion
Jillian
Corpses?
Corpses? Yeah, the kid made us watch the worst movie I've probably ever seen.
To be
At
fair,
one point-
its original namesake wasn't that good either.
It did us a favor
So-
though. At one point, the disc started like was scratched and started like.
I don't think that would have helped
stuttering.
anything.
And Josh was like, "Oh, the DVD player's become sentient. It's trying to save us." And I was like, "All right, yeah, we probably should have done that."
Does anyone
Yeah.
like the Rob Zombie movies?
No, I
No.
tried.
I
Some people
liked
tried.
House
I
of a
didn't
Thousand
hear.
Corpses
I didn't
when
watch
I
it.
was 19 and I just went and saw it to see a whole bunch of people get cut up.
See Chris Hardwick.
Now I could not
Who's
possibly.
Chris
You could not pay me to watch that movie. again.
Didn't like House of
I will
Gajillion
give you
Corpses.
$500.
Didn't like House of Thousand
Give me the
Corpses.
money.
Like Devil's Rejects.
See, I watched Devil's Rejects and
Devil's
didn't like it.
Rejects,
I'll give you
enjoyed.
$100
I didn't
bill.
like Devil's Rejects.
No, Devil's Rejects can eat every dick. The best part of Devil's Rejects was Freebird at the end.
At least we agree on that. All right.
That is the
That was the
only
best
good
part.
part about the movie.
Oh,
Not necessarily anything that happened while Freebird was playing, just that Freebird was
Just
in
the
it.
song.
Forget all
Freebird.
this.
Yes.
Also, Slither. You should
Yes.
watch
Slither.
Slither.
Slither's a
Watch
good
Slither.
movie. James Gunn.
Nathan Fillion.
And if you
Whiskey
want to make a
Up
night
to
of it,
Well,
you
James
can
Gunn
watch
directed
White
it.
Noise
That's-
too, because Nathan Fillion is in that
Yeah, it's
too.
not just Nathan Fillion.
No, I watched it for Nathan Fillion. It was kind of
Alright.
worth it.
Michael Rooker was in Slither too. It's not just Nathan Fillion. But James Gunn directed it. Doing
It's always
Guardians,
Nathan Fillion.
doing Guardians of the Galaxy next.
my
So those
hair.
Marvel fanboys can look forward to more James Gunn.
Casey, I'd
We
recommend
mentioned that.
something. I think you're
Yeah,
gonna have.
Salem's Lot.
Oh.
Good call.
Old school, very good. Good vampire movie. Otherwise, something that scared the crap out of me back in the day. One specific episode of Tales from the Crypt.
Ooh.
Like, it shouldn't have been that scary, but it was about
I
a.
used to watch that when I was younger. That's a scary. That's a
Wait.
weird thing.
Hey,
I don't
so
like
Tales
horror
from the
things.
Crypt
I
is
used to
Tales
watch
from the
We're
it.
gonna get to that.
The
when
one
we
with
get
the
to
Crypt
shows,
Keeper.
but-
Like, the show.
Oh,
Which-
when they were like behind the scenes, like they kept them like the documentary. They kept
No,
them asking
there was a
about the
show.
Crypt Keeper.
there was a show on Fox.
Or
Yeah, no.
Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saturday nights.
Oh, you mean
late
it's part
night.
Let's try to talk about Bordello of Blood. 'cause
What was
that's
the other
their-
Wait, are you talking about the cartoon or the,
No, the
actual?
show. The goddamn
Yeah,
What's
show.
the other one? Demon Knight.
All right.
Demon Knight.
The episode, there was a kid that goes to live with his uncle who's a skinflint funeral director.
Yeah, all right. I know.
That one, the entire thing was not an issue, but there's a scene where the shoes walk down
I
the
know this
stairs by,
episode.
by
Everyone does.
themselves.
Everyone does.
I have
Beautiful
no idea what it was
goddamn
about that scene, but scared the crap out of me. Like for days.
How did they do?
Was it Tales from the Crypt? There was an episode where
We're getting on TV now, guys.
we are. We gotta stop. But
Well, we
somebody
can
died,
segue
and,
into
but
TV
he was
now.
like still sentient through the whole.
Yeah. It was Bo Burgess.
That was awful.
Oh, is that the
Bo
zombie?
Burgess.
The zombie.
He was
potion
given
one?
a drug and like
Yeah,
he was
the zombie
dead.
potion.
And he's like, oh my god, they're doing this shit. Oh,
I mean,
Oh, they're
like,
doing
yeah.
it. Yeah.
It was a very practical
What
joke
are
at
you
the
doing?
end. and
I'm
then,
alive.
yeah,
I'm alive. Don't do this. Oh, wait, you took stuff out. What are you doing?
Because then he came to at the end and you're like, oh, it's all a joke. And he had a heart attack and he really did. I was like, oh, you were wrong. The sense of feeling isn't the last thing to go. The first thing to
Yep.
go. It's the last. Ah, and they're cutting him open. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that
also
freaked
there
me
was the
fuck
episode
out.
with the fucking mannequin.
Okay.
All right,
the-
so
Oh wait,
I
We're
guess
gonna-
real
we're
quick,
gonna
real
get to-
quick.
We're not doing
No.
TV.
Oh, okay.
Bobcat Goldthwait episode though with the.
All right, let's pause.
When we get to TV,
Let's
we'll
pause.
talk about it then.
Okay.
You can bring it up then.
All right.
So I guess that brings
So
us
wait,
into our
wait,
movie
wait.
discussion.
Is there any other movies I think we should bring up?
Probably are.
There's a couple I want to bring up.
There's one thing I have to bring
Why
up.
don't you, since or Kit?
All right,
Kit.
which is funny because they kind of tie together. One, Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead, because I didn't watch that old shit because I know that makes me a horrible person. But
The new one in the mall?
it's yes,
Yeah.
yes, the
Yeah.
Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead is a great movie, and it has
It happens in Milwaukee.
yes. Well, that's part of the reason why. Look at, we make no secret on the show that we are in Wisconsin, right? Like
Yeah.
we mention almost every time, so of course we have
They
to
pretty much
mention
mentioned
the
Cultural center of the world.
Yeah.
Kenosha, they mentioned Milwaukee. They're
Racine, I think they mentioned like everything around
Yeah,
here.
I think they're in
so-
Racine at the end,
Yeah, I
right?
think they're in Racine.
And they find an island in the middle of Lake Michigan.
They're probably.
And if you want to watch a good
Oh.
communist zombie movie, there's always Land of the Dead.
Or
That was
Dead
pretty
Snow
funny.
if you love Nazis.
Or Dead Snow if you love Nazis.
Damn, how'd you know I was gonna mention zombies?
Because you're a kid.
Because it's a Halloween
And it's
episode.
a Halloween episode. We need to.
So I know what I was gonna mention is pretty much like zombie movies. I kind of like zombie stuff. I kind of am annoyed with nowadays because they're fucking everywhere. But like made in the fucking like 80s, early
Like
90s,
zombie?
fucking Return of the Living Dead, like that whole series, I like enjoyed because it's so over the top.
I've heard a lot of
and
good
ridiculous. The only way to kill zombies is like setting them on fire, pretty much. You can like shoot them in the head, that doesn't do it. Decapitating doesn't work.
No.
Return of the Living Dead 1 was like horribly fucked and awesome. Return of the Living Dead 2 was just like they didn't take themselves seriously at all, and it was ridiculous, and I loved it. Return of the Living Dead 3.
So the other thing I was going to mention coming out of Dawn of the Dead was Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't nobody mentioned that in this discussion.
Because that's
somehow.
That actually did
No,
appear
it's not.
that did pop up up here.
That's just an amazing movie.
I don't know. It's probably not out
Try to
yet,
say
but when
this,
it
John.
does, go watch
World's
The
End?
World's End because
Yeah.
that was amazing.
Not a Halloween movie, really.
No,
but,
Sure,
we
his
made-
aliens are Halloween-ish.
I would like to suggest a
It was kinda
special where we
horror-ish.
watch all three of them back to back.
the entire Cornetto trilogy, just
Yeah.
watch them all.
No, you did that one day.
But
I would
Discuss.
probably, the worst thing is Shaun of the Dead is a good movie, but I would probably say it's the weakest of the trilogy.
That's
Oh,
because
yeah.
you don't like zombies
And we're not talking
and
about
horror
yeah,
theories.
that's a Cornetto trilogy special. I think that has to happen.
I
Watch all three.
love Shaun of the Dead. I love Hot Fuzz more and
All right.
World's
The-
End.
Anyway,
Again,
we're not
anyways,
talking about this.
We had a discussion on this
Saying.
when we reviewed The World's End.
I
What
did
was
it
the
out.
movie?
I'm just saying.
It was a
it's
zombie movie. We watched it on Netflix. There was the chick that was running away, and there's, don't worry, little girl, I'll get you
God!
to safety. And then,
American.
bam!
Was it an American
Amer-
zombie?
American Zombie, wasn't it?
yeah,
It was something with America.
It
Yeah.
was American. I want to say it
Watch
was like
it.
American.
American
Zombie.
Watch
Zombie,
it now.
Red, White, and Zombie, something like that. It is not scary at all, but it is.
Did anyone
Fucking
actually see the movie
ridiculous.
Bud? Or was it Bud? Or
Oh,
Air Bud?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Airbud, Golden
No.
Receiver.
no, or do you mean Fido?
Fido, there we go.
Fido
was
okay,
great.
Bud.
Fido is not a scary movie at
Fido's
all,
good.
but it is a
It's
good
got zombies in it.
deconstruction
Yeah.
of zombies.
It's got good lore. I liked.
Yeah.
I liked the.
Lore!
We're
And
not
that's it,
watching
folks.
your
Thank you.
Watch Fido. Fido.
Sorry, you said lore. I have
We're
to
not
say it that
watching
way
your
every
other
time
web
someone
shows,
says lore.
okay?
I liked
Max Scoville. Making me say that every time I
Oh,
hear it.
hey, because his name needs to be uttered in reverence during this.
Wes
Hitchcock. Watch something
Yeah,
with
Oh,
Hitchcock.
yeah.
Watch
Okay.
Psycho, the original.
Psycho.
See, I-
Psycho
see, I
the
just-
original.
Not the
Vince Vaughn version?
Hitchcock
I'm
just
kidding.
goes over my head when we talk about it because I mean that's everybody knows it, you know.
Yeah.
Like
Well, that's why
if
it's
it has to
not-
be, if it needs to be said, then you've already.
Virgo,
You're already wrong.
Psycho, The Birds.
Yeah, those are classics.
We just named a
Halloween
bunch of
was
shit as it
hilarious.
is.
Yeah.
Alright, so
All right, now we've
Halloween.
named 50 hours of things.
Yeah.
All those
You
classics,
have a
Freddy,
very,
Jason,
you have a
all
very
of them.
good start of things you can check out if you have. And trust me, you've heard of this stuff we mentioned.
Yeah.
We're not mentioning some. Well, some of it's obscure.
Go see Cabin in the
So you
Woods.
better not be bored.
Yeah.
So
You're bored.
yes.
You stopped watching.
Like, it's
Yeah.
Halloween,
So,
you have no
you know
reason to
what?
be bored.
this is a guide to resisting boredom. I just realized that's what we'll call this.
Halloween guide to resist.
Yes.
I suddenly wanted to punch you in the side of the head for some reason. I don't know why.
That happens a lot. But yeah, so
If you're bored,
I think movie-wise, you have a lot to look into if you haven't heard of this stuff, but chances are you have.
and really
And,
just check
maybe
out
I'm
some of
seeing-
the crappy horror movies on Netflix, because sometimes there's gold.
Ah,
You gotta
gold.
wade through the shit to get to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Not all
There's bronze. There's bronze.
You
There's-
you can skip cheerleaders versus vampires.
You can skip that
Yeah.
one, yeah.
There's bronze. It's
Wait,
useful, but it's not
it's-
very valuable.
No.
It's true.
That's what you'll
Yeah,
find.
you
on
can
Netflix.
skip cheerleaders versus vampires.
Where's that copy?
If they're on the internet, they have other ways to find that kit. That was stupid for you to make it like that.
Shut up.
Anyways.
You're stupid.
So we're done.
So yeah, thanks for
Actually,
watching.
awesome.
Hope you enjoyed the things we had to say. We rambled on for
Thank
quite a
you.
while. You have a lot of stuff to check out, and see you in the next video.
Maybe.
It doesn't matter, but
It doesn't matter.
I am the hero of Canton, the man they call Brandon Kaiser.
Really? We're gonna have to redo that.
This is that.
Right.
Here you go.